Generative AI, it's opened up this thrilling new frontier, right? A land of incredible opportunity. But let's be honest, it can feel a little bit like the Wild West. In this explainer, we're going to look at the map that can help us navigate this whole new territory, the AWS well-architected framework for generative AI.
The way these large language models have just exploded onto the scene has completely changed how we build software. We're not just dealing with predictable, logical code anymore. Now, we're working with these non-deterministic systems that bring a whole new set of challenges for security, reliability, and, cost.
So, does building with GenAI sometimes feel like you're in a lawless town, where the rules aren't super clear and you're not sure what's lurking around the next corner? If you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone. It's a pretty common feeling for anyone working out here on this new frontier.
And look, these aren't just feelings, they're real technical dangers. We're talking about models that hallucinate, just making up stuff that's totally wrong. We're facing brand new security threats like prompt injection, where a clever user can basically hijack your model's instructions. And then there are the runaway costs, what some people are calling denial of wallet attacks, where someone could try to burn through your entire budget on purpose. It is a lot to handle.
So how do we bring some order to all this chaos? How do we go from just cool experimental prototypes to building robust, production-grade applications? Well, we need a set of laws, right? A code to build by? And that's exactly where the AWS well-architected framework comes in.
At its core, the framework is really a collection of best practices that AWS has gathered from helping thousands of customers. It's a consistent way to design and run things in the cloud, and now it's been specifically adapted for the unique challenges that come with generative AI. The whole framework is built on 6 core pillars. Just think of these as the foundational principles that are going to guide every single architectural decision you make. They help you build something that's not just innovative, but also stable and secure.
Okay, let's walk through these 6 pillars and see how they really act as the laws of the land for building on the GenAI frontier.
First up, operational excellence. In the GenAI world, this means getting consistent quality out of your models, even though they can be unpredictable. It's about having total visibility into your systems and automating the entire life cycle of your models and prompts, a practice people are starting to call GenAI ops.
Next, security. And this one is absolutely critical. Yeah, it's about protecting your endpoints, but it's also about dealing with those crazy new risks we just talked about. This pillar gives you real guidance on how to clean up user inputs to stop prompt injection, and how to put limits on what an AI agent can do so it doesn't go rogue.
Reliability is all about consistency. How do you make sure your app does its job correctly and consistently when the main component, the AI model, is inherently unpredictable? This involves designing for resilience, managing API limits, and having really robust error handling so things can fail gracefully.
Performance efficiency is about using your resources smartly. For GenAI, that means testing your model's performance against real data to make sure it's accurate. It's about optimizing everything from how fast that first word appears to how relevant a search result is in a RAG system. And of course, cost optimization. With a lot of these models, you pay per token. Every single word has a price tag. This pillar is all about making sure your GenAI gold rush doesn't end in bankruptcy. It's about delivering real business value at the lowest cost you possibly can.
Now, what's really useful here is how practical the advice is. It boils down to 3 key things. First, right-size your model. Don't use a giant, expensive one for a simple job. Second, control how much it's used by optimizing your prompts and caching common answers. And third, design boundaries for AI agents so they don't get stuck in some costly, infinite loop.
And this illustrates a key cost decision perfectly: how you're going to run your model. If your traffic is all over the place, a serverless option is great because you don't pay for idle time. But if you have constant, high-volume traffic, committing to provision throughput can get you a way lower cost per token. It's all about matching the right tool to the job.
The final pillar is sustainability. The sheer amount of computation for AI has real-world environmental impacts. So honestly, the most sustainable thing you can do is often to ask, is generative AI even the right solution here? If a simple search or a rule-based system can do the job, it's almost always a more energy-efficient choice.
Now, these pillars aren't just abstract ideas. They apply across the entire lifecycle of a GenAI project. From the very first scoping phase, through model selection, customization, deployment, and all the way to continuous improvement, these principles give you a roadmap for making smart choices at every single step.
But, building great AI isn't just about technical excellence anymore.
It's about building systems that are trustworthy, that are fair, and that are aligned with our values. The framework really elevates this idea with the concept of responsible AI.
This quote from the source material it hits the nail on the head. This isn't some afterthought or a box you check at the end. The most successful and sustainable AI solutions are built by organizations that bake their core values into the architecture from the very beginning.
Responsible AI covers a bunch of key dimensions. It means building systems that are fair, that aren't biased. It means they're explainable, so you can actually understand why a model made a certain decision. It means they're safe, controllable, robust, and transparent. These are the foundations of a lasting AI civilization, not just a temporary boomtown.
So, as we wrap up here, think of this framework not as some rigid set of rules, but as your strategic guide, your architectural map for navigating this whole new world of generative AI.
And here's the crucial point. Structure doesn't limit your creativity, it enables it. By building on a solid foundation of best practices, you're not slowing down. You're actually giving your innovations the power to scale, to last, and to earn the trust that is so fundamental to long-term success.
Every generative AI project today is, in one way or another, on the frontier. The question this framework really leaves us with is a simple but powerful one. Do you have the right map to build something that will last?